Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We're going to start with grade 8 maths. So you can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter probability. The lesson we're going to cover today are compound events, find the number of outcomes. Then we'll start the new chapter that is percents, and the lessons we are going to cover are convert between percents, fractions and decimals, and then compare percents to fractions and decimals. Let's just start with the first lesson. Okay, here I'm on grade 8 maths. The chapter we're working on is probability. And here is the lesson we're going to start with, that is compound events, find the number of outcomes. Okay, here is the first question. Let's just start with the first question. You roll a die and flip a coin. Basically, they are the two events. When you combine two events, they make a compound event. Got it? So you roll a die and flip a coin. They are two different events. How many possible outcomes are possible? Like the for the dice, you have six outcomes: one, two, three, four, five, six. And for the uh, um, coin, you have two outcomes. They are head and tail. So you roll a die, let's suppose you have one, got it, and you flip a coin, let's suppose you have head, got it. So it is possible when you roll a die for one, like if it is one on the die, it would be head, or the next time it would be tail, got it. So the total outcomes are, you have to do the for the outcomes for the first event is 6 and for the seventh event is 2. So you can multiply just 6 times 2, you can count the total event, it would be, that means the total events are 12. You have the total outcomes, that would be 12 possible outcomes. You just have to do 6 times 2, that means you have total 12 outcomes. Got it? The next one is you pick a marble and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? On the spinner, you have one, two, three, four, five portions, and here you have two marbles. So the outcomes on the spinner, you have five outcomes, and for the marble, you have two outcomes. You have to do 5 times 2. That means you have total 10 events, total 10 outcomes. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, you spin the spinner. You spin the spinner and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? So the spinner has four portions, and when you spin the spinner, you have two outcomes, head and tail. Got it? You need to calculate the total outcomes, so you have to do 4 times 2. Got it? 4 events, 4 outcomes for the spinner, and 2 outcomes for the coin. So 4 times 2 makes 8. That means the total possible outcomes are 8. Got it? So the correct option is 8. Okay, the next one is you pick a card and pick a marble. How many outcomes are possible? You need to calculate the total outcomes. So how many outcomes do we have? You have two cards and two marbles. You need to calculate the total outcomes. So how do you calculate total outcomes? It would be 2 times 2. That means you have total 4 outcomes. Okay, you spin the spinner and roll a die. How many outcomes are possible? So for the spinner, you have two options. And when you roll a die, you have six outcomes. Got it? So to calculate the total outcomes, you just have to multiply both the events. You need to do 2 times 6. That means the total outcomes you have is 12. The correct option is 12. Okay. Okay, you flip a coin and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? When you flip a coin, you have two outcomes, head or tail. Got it? And you have five cards. So how many outcomes do you have? It would be 5 times 2. Got it? So 5 times 2 is 10. That means the total outcomes you have is 10. The correct option is 10. You pick a marble and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? When you flip a coin, you have just two options and you have two marbles. So 2 times 2 makes 4. That means the total outcomes we have is 4. The correct option is 4. Okay, you spin the spinner and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? When you spin the spinner, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 outcomes for the spinner. And for the coin, you have two options. Got it? So 5 times 2 makes 10. That means the total options for the function for this for the total outcomes are 5 times 2 makes 10. Got it? Okay, the correct option is 10. You roll a die and pick a marble. How many outcomes are possible? The die has six outcomes and you have four marbles. So you need to do 6 times 4. That means the correct option is 24. Okay, you spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? On the spinner, you have three options and you have five cards. So you need to do 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So the correct option is 15. Okay, you may pick a marble and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? You have five outcomes for the marble and four for the spinner. You have to do 4 times 5. So 4 times 5 makes 20. So the correct option is 20. Okay, you pick a card and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? You have two cards, two outcomes for the cards and three outcomes for the spinner. So it would be 3 times 2. That means the total outcomes are 6. The correct option is 6. You spin the spinner and roll a die. How many outcomes are possible? For the spinner, you have 3 outcomes, and for the dice, it would be 6. So you have to do 6 times 3. That means you have 18 outcomes. The total outcomes are 6 times 3. That would be 18. So the correct option is 18. You roll a die and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? So when you roll a die, you have total 6 outcomes. And when you flip a coin, you have total 2 outcomes. So you have to do 6 times 2. That means you have 12 outcomes. So the correct option is 12. You pick a card and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? You have 7 outcomes for the card and 3 for the spinner. So the correct option is 7 times 3. 7 times 3 makes 21. So the correct option is 21. You flip a coin and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? For coin, you have 2 outcomes, and for the cards, you have 3 outcomes. So it would be 3 times 2. That means 3 times 2 is 6. So the correct option is 6. Okay, you flip a coin and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? It would be 8 times 2. That means the total outcomes are 16. So the correct option is 16. Okay, you roll a die and pick a card. So for the dice, you have 6 outcomes, and for the cards, you have 4. So that means the total outcomes are 6 times 4. That would be, yes, 24. So the correct option is 24. You pick a marble and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? So you have 6 outcomes for the marble and 2 outcomes for the card. So it would be 6 times 2. That means the total outcomes are 12. Okay, the next one is you pick a marble and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outcomes for the spinner and 2 for the marble. So the correct option is, it would be 5 times 2. That means it is 10. So the correct option is 10. The correct option is 10. You spin the spinner and roll a die. How many outcomes are possible? You have 4 outcomes for the spinner and 6 outcomes for the die. So it would be 6 times 4. That means the total outcomes are 24. So the correct option is 24. You pick a card and roll a die. How many outcomes are possible? It would be 18. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to the next chapter. We're going to start the new chapter. We're done with the chapter probability. We're going to start the new chapter, that is percent. Let's just start with the lesson. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is convert between percents, fractions and decimals. Okay, how do you write 67% as a decimal? You have to write 67% as decimal. So what you have to do, just divide 67 by 100. When you divide 67 by 100, you just need to move decimal point 2 places left. So it would be 0.67. The correct option is 0.67. Okay, the next one is how do you write 7 by 25 as a percentage? When you have to convert a fraction into percentage, what you have to do, you have to make the denominator equal to the 100. Here you have 25. 25 times 4 is 100. So just multiply the fraction by 4. It would be 7 times 4 and 25 times 4. Because 25 times 4 is 100, so you need to multiply the fraction by 4. It would be 28 over 100. That means that is 28%. How do you write 0.49 as a percentage? You have to write down the answer as a percentage. So it would be 0.49 times 100, and that equals 49%. Let's just start with the practice questions. Okay, how do you write 22 by 50 as percentage? So whenever you have to write down the fraction as percentage, you just have to convert the, you have to make denominator equal to the 100. Got it? Here you have 50. So 50 times what number equal 100? 50 times 2 equal 100. So you need to do 22 times 2 divided by 50 times 2. So 22 times 2 is 44 and 50 times 2 is 100. That means the correct option is 44. 44 over 100 means you have 100 out of the 54. Sorry, 144 out of the 100. So it would be 44%. Got it? So the correct option is 44%. Okay. How do you write 90% as a fraction in simplest form? So you have 90%. 90% means 90 out of 100. So just convert them in simplest form, divide them by the common factor 10. It would be 90 divided by 10 is 9 and 100 divided by 10 is 10. So it would be 9 over 10. So the correct option is 9/10. How do you write 0.5 as a percentage? It would be 0.5 times 100. That means you have to move decimal point 2 places left. So it would be 50%. The correct option is 50%. 2 places right. You have to multiply, you're going to multiply, so you need to move decimal place 2 places right, so it would be 50%. So the correct option is 50%. Okay, the next one is how do you write 45% as a decimal? So which is the correct option? 45 divided by 100 and that equals 0.45. The correct option is 0.45. Okay, how do you write 82% as a decimal? So which is the correct option? You have to do 82 over 100, and 82 over 100 equals 0.82. That is option number 2. How do you write 0.89 as a percentage? Yes, it is 89%. The correct option is 89%. How do you write 1 by 2 as a percentage? It would be, you have to make the denominator equal to the 100. 1 over 2. You need to make the denominator equal to 100. So you just have to 2 times 50 makes 100. So just multiply both numerator and denominator by 50. So it would be 50 times 1 is 50 and 50 times 2 is 100. So it would be 50%. The correct option is 50%. Okay, how do you write 80% as a percentage? 80% in the simplest form. So 80% means 80 over 100. 80% means 80 out of 100. Got it? So just divide them by the 10. You can divide them by 20 either. 20 times 4 is 100 and 20 times 4 is 80 and 20 times 5 is 100. So it would be 4 over 5. So it would be 4 over 5. Okay, how do you write 0.8 percentage form? You have to do it is 0.86 times 100. So it would be 50 to 86%. The correct option is option number 1. That would be 86%. Okay, the next one is, how do you write 55% as a decimal? It would be 55 divided by 100, and that equals 0.55. So the correct option is 0.55. Okay, how do you write 8% as a fraction in simplest form? You have to write down 8% as a simplest form. So it would be 8%. 8% means 8 out of 100. So it would be 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 25 is 100. So it would be 2 over 25. So the correct option is 2 over 25. That would be option number 2. Okay, how do you write 3 by 25 as a percentage? It would be 3 over 25. So just convert the denominator, make the denominator equal to 100. So 25 times 2 makes 100. So just multiply it by the 100. 2 times 3 is 6. Sorry, 25 times 4 is 100. It would be 4 times 3. That would be 12. So it would be 12 over 100. That means it equals 12%. Got it? The correct option is 12%. The correct option is, and you have to write down the answer in percentage form, it would be yes, 12%. The correct option is 12. Okay, how do you write down 0.2 as a percentage? You have to multiply it by the 100, it would be 20%. Okay, you can complete the test by yourself later today. Let's just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is compare percents to fractions and decimals. Okay, which sign makes the statement true? Compare both the fraction and percent. So you can't compare if they can't be in the same, like if you have to convert, either you have to convert both of them in the percentage form or both of them in the fraction form. Then you have to compare, like you converted 3 by 4 in the percentage form, so it would be 75%. So both hand you can compare now both 75% and 75%, so they are equal. That means 3 by 4 and 75% are exactly equal. Got it? Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Okay, which sign makes the statement true? So you have 0.925 and 37%. 0.925 and 37%. You can't compare until they are in the same. Here, this is the fraction, this is the decimal form, and this is the percentage. You have to convert either both in the percentage or either both in the decimal form. So I'm going to convert 90 to 0.925 as percentage form. So you have to multiply it by the 100. When you multiply by 100, it equals 92.5%. Now you can compare both 37%, 92.5% and 37%. So obviously 92.5% is greater than 37%. So it would be greater. The correct option is greater. Okay, which sign makes the statement true? 82% and 80%. So which is the correct option? It would be 82% is greater than 80%. The correct option is greater. Okay, which sign makes the statement true? You have to compare 3 by 5 and 60%. So convert 3 by 5 into percentage. Got it? It would be, how do we convert into percentage? Let's just make the denominator equal to 100. Got it? So 5 times 20 makes 100. So it would be 20 times 3 is 60 and 20 times 5 is 100. So you can see it would be also 60%. So 60% and 60%, they both are exactly equal. The correct option is equal. Okay, the next one is 32% and 8 over 25. Let's just convert 8 over 25 to percentage. 32% and 8 over 25. So let's just make 8 over 25 equal to percentage. So it would be, you have to multiply both numerator and denominator by 4 because you need to convert the denominator in equal 100. So it would be 8 times 4 is 32 and 32 out of 100. That means they both are exactly equal. 32 over 100 means 32%. So they both are exactly equal. So the correct option is they are exactly equal. Okay, the next one is 30% and 2 by 5. Okay, 30% and 2 over 5. Convert the fraction into percentage form. Okay, 5 times 30 makes 100. So let's just multiply the fraction. So it would be 20 times 2 is 40 and 20 times 5 is 100. So it would be 30% and it would be 40%. So the 30% is less than 40%. So the correct option is less. Which sign makes the statement true? It would be 39% is greater than 8. The correct option is they are greater. Which sign makes the statement true? They both are exactly equal. 35% and 35%, they both are equal. Okay, which sign makes the statement true? 66% is less than 67%. Which sign makes the statement true? 38% is less than 55%. So the correct option is less. Yes, 75% is less than 19%. Okay, you can complete the test by yourself later today. So we're working on grade 8 maths. Chapter with the chapter probability, and the lesson we have covered today is compound event, find a number of outcomes. Then we've started the chapter percents, and the lessons are convert between percents, fractions, and decimals, and compare percents to fractions and decimals. So please make sure before the next session you have to complete all the test questions for the lessons we did today. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. If you have any questions, ask. Okay, that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.